on this computer. Awesome. Make sure you mute yourself when you jump on tonight. Welcome, everybody. This is the United Coach Collaboration Team Call. And tonight we're going to talk about what is new in 2022. I thought that was kind of fun and it rhymed. And yeah, so let me tell you a little bit about myself and then we'll jump into what we're actually talking about today. So for those of you that don't know me, my name is Amanda Byrne, formerly Amanda Huber. I am a newlywed. I just got married 2 months ago to Ryan. I am a former teacher and school administrator. So I was in education for 16 years prior to walking away about 4.5 years ago to coach full time. I was in the classroom for 10 years and I was a school administrator for 6. I was an instructor. If you're a teacher, any teachers in the world, in the room here, just hit me up in the chat. Let me know if you're a teacher because you will understand what I'm talking about. If you're not a teacher, you probably won't. But I was an instructional technology coach for 3 years after I left the classroom. So I co-taught, co-planned with teachers to help them integrate technology into their curriculum. And then I moved from that position to a director of technology and curriculum for a pre-K through 8 school district for 3 years. And that is where I really found myself just feeling so down in the dumps and judged every day and just in a very negative space. And thankfully I had my business already kind of going. I was in a good place with my business, not ready to quite walk away from the education world yet, but 2 years after, or 3 years after, I guess, I started that position, I was able to walk away and move to Denver, Colorado. I was kind of called here by God to really just pick up and kind of start life over. And it has really been such an amazing walk with the Lord. And I finally met the love of my life last year and we were married within 7 months and we are just so excited to live our life together and loving others well. So that's kind of a little bit about me. I also nanny part-time. When I moved out here, I really missed kids. And for those of you that are not full-time coaches, when you become a full-time coach, you really don't need to work 8 to 10 hours a day like I was used to working. And so I found that I had a little extra time on my hands. So I nanny kind of after school. I pick kids up from school and help families. I work for 2 families and I pick their kiddos up after school a few days a week and basically just play with them, take them to the park, take them to the museum. And I absolutely love it. I am not a mom yet, but I am a someday mom. And I'll put a little plug in here. I have a podcast called Someday Mom. If you are also a someday mom and want to learn about being proactive with your fertility and health, I'd love for you to give it a listen. And I would also take prayers for becoming a mom sometime this year. I love to travel. We literally have had a trip every month since we got married in November. We are going to Hawaii at the end of this month, Vegas next month, and then Punta Cana for the Beachbody trip in March, and we cannot wait. And I am a technology geek. So if you guys heard it earlier, I was a teacher. So I taught math, but then I also taught technology. And then when I left, I coached teachers to integrate technology. And then I was a director of technology. So I catch on really quickly with technology. And on my team and like my smaller team, I am the one that people come to when they have technology questions and need help with that kind of thing. So I'm actually going to bring you guys a bunch of Instagram tips today because that is a big part of our job. So I'm excited. All right, what are we going to talk about today? These are just a few of the things that I felt we all should know for what's new in 2022. First, we're going to celebrate some wins here in a second. I'm going to ask you guys to share some. So be thinking about that in the last week or so, or even from the beginning of the year. What are some of even the small wins that you've had in your life, in your business. I think it's so important to really celebrate that. I'm going to quickly go over the Super Weekend announcements in case you were not at Super Weekend or weren't able to watch the live. Like maybe you didn't have a local one. So grateful that we had a local one here in Denver, and it was beautiful and awesome. I'll talk a little bit more about that when we get there. I'm going to give you a little inspiration from the talk that we got. I'm going to tell you the changes to the Road to Elite program, in case you did not know that there is just really one kind of big change, really, to the Road to Elite program. I'm going to give you some tips for what is new with Instagram. If you follow Brock or Shalene Johnson, you might already know all of these tips, but hopefully you'll learn something new. And then I'm going to have Lindsay Gray jump on at the end and give us a quick little tip that she just shared with our team that I think is going to help everyone over on Facebook, which is where, if you've been in this business for a while, that's probably where you started your business. And I know I still work a lot of my business on Facebook. And so I'm going to have her jump in and give us a little tip that she recently learned that I think will be helpful for all of us. But before we move into all of that, does anyone want to be brave enough to unmute yourself and celebrate the win that you've had so far this year? It can be anything. It can be something with a client, with a coach, with your team, with yourself, with your personal life. What is a win that you've had? I'll start. And I would say one of my wins was actually today. I went skiing all day today. And I can remember when I was still teaching, that would be like, not skiing wasn't the thing because I lived in Chicago and you just don't go skiing. That's a thing that we do here in Colorado. But I would just like want a day off. Like, I would just want to like be able to go do whatever the heck I wanted to do. And when I became a full-time coach, I had a really, really hard time doing that for myself. Even though I now had the freedom to do that, it was really hard for me to step away. It was like this guilt and this shame, like I shouldn't be taking this time off. And so today, just being able to go up on the mountain and not have that shame and guilt was a big win for me. So who else has a win for me or for us? Hopefully it will inspire somebody as well. Go ahead and unmute yourself. I can't really see everybody. Oh, wait, there I can. Anyone? No one has a win?
I can share.
Yay.
Yay. I do see that there's one in the comments too that you can read when I'm done.
Thank you.
So my win is that this is what I'm going to kind of share with you guys a little bit later, but I feel like I've finally fallen into a space of like really speaking to my people, and it's taken such a long time. And I just want to say that stay tuned for the end of the call, because I grew my Facebook following, okay, not friends, following, from 16,000 to 36,000 in 3 days. So I have so many people that are reaching out to me about so many things, so many women that are reaching out to me and thanking me and saying they see me and they relate to me and they feel so much. And so Facebook is alive. It's alive and well. And I'm going to give you some tips on exactly say exactly what I did when we get there. But to me, that was a really big win, because I will tell you that for the last 8 years, maybe not 8 years, maybe I focused more on like my social media presence more in the last 4 years. And I've always been like, why do all these other people get all this traction and I don't? Like, I have good things to say. And like, why am I what is it? Is it the hashtags? Is it this? Is it this? And I feel like I really won today with a few messages I got from people, because it was just me speaking in a way that it was something that I had in me all along. like it wasn't that I was ever doing anything wrong. It was just the way it came across. So anyway, I'm going to share the tip on that later, but that was my win today. I feel like I'm finally being seen and heard. And that not only that, but I literally was brought to tears with a few messages just from a few people that started following me and wanted to tell me how what I said helped them or whatever. So that was big for me.
Awesome. I love that. It's like you're finding your people, we all want to find our people. And it's when you can really speak to those people. So I'm sure everyone really wants to know what the tip is now. So you'll have to stay till the end of the call. Chris said she closed all of her rings for the first time this year. She's 20 and a half weeks pregnant. So that's a huge win. That's a huge win, I'm sure, when you're pregnant. And it doesn't it? It makes you want to continue. I know that so many of my clients and coaches are just feeling that right now with job one. Like just that 20 minutes is so easy. And when you feel accomplished, you want to keep going. And so that's awesome. Any other wins, or shall we move on? Anyone else? Great. I like to have the call be a little interactive. So thanks, Lindsay, for sharing. And thank you, Chris, as well. All right. So this weekend, I should say, Super Weekend. How many of you were able to attend a Super Weekend live, and how many were able to watch it online, or how many did not watch at all or need to hear all of the new things? We have a couple more wins in the comments too. Joss watched it online. They canceled yours last minute. I know they canceled the Chicago one. Unfortunately, Illinois is having some big issues. Just gonna say that. I was very grateful, like I said, very grateful that Denver was able to have or Colorado, I should say, was able to host a live event. We had Megan Davies come do a live workout with us, which was wonderful. And we had Courtney Burton. I don't know if anybody knows Courtney Burton. She was number 30 in the company this year. She gave a little speech, and I'm going to give you a little bit of inspiration that I gathered from her. But a couple of the big announcements, I think, were To Be Pregnant launched today, something I'm personally very excited about. I listened to the National Wake Up Call to get a little more information about it today. And I know that she and Elise did a Q&A, I believe it was either in Beachbody Champions or I saw it on the TBB 411 page, one or the other. I need to go find it. I think it was 411. I want to go watch that as well and just learn even more. I think I'm going to start like watching the videos now before I'm pregnant. It's something, especially with my podcast, I really think it's so important to be proactive. So if you are in that same stage as me, where you want to be pregnant in the future, you can start learning now. And I think it's just so important. And maybe one of you moms can speak up to this, but like, I know I am fearful, quote unquote, of gaining all this weight and not knowing what to eat and struggling with food aversions and cravings and all of these things. And Alana really is, so she says, and hopefully it's helpful, says that this program is going to help with all of that. And she gives you some, I'm sure, very yummy recipes, because I love all of her recipes. So really looking forward to diving into that. So if you have any pregnant clients or someday mom clients, make sure that you're talking to them about To Be Pregnant. We still have the $20 off for job one. The New Leader Conference is next weekend. Do we have anybody going to New Leader Conference, or do you have anyone on your team going to the New Leader Conference? It's actually in Vegas, which is kind of fun. September, which they've never announced this early before, but they announced some September promos. I assume that we're going to have Team Cup again in February, and that's maybe where those promo codes are going to come from. I don't remember them talking specifically about that this weekend, but we'll have to see exactly what those are for. And then Total Solution Pack purchasers and first time enrollers are going to get 50% off for 4-week gut protocol. in 4 weeks for everybody, which is launching in March. Specific launch dates they did not share. Who's going to the Success Club trip? So excited to be in Punta Cana with some of you friends. And then some of the big things that I'm really excited about, the 2 new programs that are launching, Fire and Flow, looks absolutely amazing. If you haven't seen a teaser for it yet, it's Jericho and Elise, and they are just fire and flow, exactly what it's called. And I am just so excited for that to launch. They were saying May-ish for that one. And then Joel's program, which I saw people calling it Lift More, but that they never said that. So I don't know if it's going to be called Lift More or if it's a new Joel program. We'll have to see. He kind of snuck in that little bit of information. So we'll just have to see exactly what the name of that one's going to be, but that is July-ish. So probably it will launch with Summit is what I'm assuming. And Summit is in July. And I cannot believe we're going to be back in person for Summit. And I am just so excited. It's going to be so good. So good. All right. So those are some of the big announcements. And then I just wanted to share a little bit about this. Courtney Burton just shared something that I think we can all take something away from this. And basically the big thing she said was, it's January 2022. We all start at 0. And I just threw a few names in here because those are some of the top 3 coaches: Angie Belmar, Moira Casaba, Kim Fitzpatrick, and you are all at 0 right now. Any one of you could be a top 10 coach if that is one of your goals. No one has a leg up here. Everyone starts at the same place. And Courtney really talked about that. And she went from, in 2020, from a 1-star to elite from September of 2020 till the end of the year. Like, it can really happen that fast. But just, I think this whole thing of like, we're all in the same place right now. We're all in the same boat. We all like wiped our slates clean. We all have 0 numbers right now. Maybe, I guess we're a couple weeks in, maybe we have a few points on the board. But we all started at the same place. And she'd been a coach for a few years and really talked about like, what is that 2 millimeter shift that you're going to make this year that'll help you become the person that you need to become to meet the goals that you have for yourself. Oops. Sorry, I'm going to go back. What 2 millimeter shift? It's not doing more things. If you're like me, I've been a coach for 8.5 years, or 8 years, a little over 8 years. I do all the things. Do I do them every day, all the time? No, I give myself grace, but I do all the things. But I know I need to make a little shift to become that person, that leader for my coaches, to be able to, for the coach that's going to join my team, for the client that's going to join my team. So it's not about doing more things. It's about, who do you need to become? And she gave us a little exercise to do. I'm going to have you do the same thing, and you don't need to do it right now, but you can, take a pic of this or come back to it later. Not something you can probably just remember what to do, but get out a sheet of paper and draw a line down the middle. And on one side, what is everything that you are really good at with coaching? Like, are you really good at planning? Are you really good at time management? Are you really good at inviting? Are you really good at connecting? Like, what are the things that you are really good at? You're very confident, you're really good. And then on the other side, what are the things that you can improve upon? And I want you to think about that woman that you admire in this business. Maybe it's Moira Casaba, maybe it's Emily Favre, Maybe it's Christina Solins. Maybe it's Lindsay Gray. Who is it that you admire in this business, and what qualities do they have that you lack? Now, I don't want you to get stuck and like follow this person like crazy, but just think like, what are the qualities that they have? And the example that she gave was Melanie Mitro. Courtney had gone to New Leader Conference and Melanie was speaking, and Melanie was giving her big marketing plan. We've probably all heard Melanie Mitro's presentation about her big monthly marketing plan. And it's easy to be like, that's not important. I don't need to do that. But Melanie Mitchell was a top coach for 4 years, right? Is that something that maybe is important? And Courtney was like, had to sit back and be like, that is something that I want to and need to start doing, to be the person, to be the leader that I want to be for my future team, for my current and future team. So like, don't get hung up on this person and like go crazy, but what are the qualities that they have that you lack, and what can you learn and improve upon? And I just thought that was something that would be helpful. It was helpful for me, and hopefully it is also helpful for you as you move forward in January of 2022. And this, I was on the mastermind for my the West region today, and a lot of people are just talking about like living your best life this year. We're all living our best life, and what can we do to live our best life? What are the qualities that we need to have as a person, as a leader, to live our best life and to grow our business, grow in our life, grow in whatever area that we need to. So hopefully that was a little inspiring. And we're going to move on to the road to elite changes. So there's no specific changes to like how to get to team builder, how to get to leader, premier, elite. Those numbers are the same. How you acquire your points are all the same. The change is how you rank, right? So how you become top coach, top 10, number 149, whatever number. And in the past, until this year, it has been based on rank advancement. So if you had a coach who advanced from emerald to diamond, you got a certain number of points. And from diamond to 1 star, 1 star to 2 star, 2 star to 3 star, et cetera, you would get points. I think it was 25 points for each of those rank advancements. And that's how you rank in the company. It actually didn't have much to do with whether you were an elite leader, premier. They do coincide typically. Typically the top coaches are elite leaders because they are doing all the things, but they are changing it this year to line up with that road to elite ladder. So you're no longer getting elite ranking points for rank advancements. You're getting elite ranking points for, let's just call it ladder advancements, I guess. You get points for success starters. So if you have a new coach join your team, they hit success starter, which means that they hit Success Club 3 out of the first 6 months of their business. You will receive 10 elite ranking points. Okay. Then for every coach, any coach in your business who hits team builder for the very first time, so not like I've hit team builder, so I wouldn't count for Lindsay Gray. Lindsay Gray is my upline coach. I wouldn't count for that because it's not my first time hitting it. But I have never hit premier. So if I hit premier this year, I can get her 40 points, right? If I hit elite this year, when I hit elite this year, I'll get her 50 points, right? So as your personally sponsored coaches hit each of these benchmarks, you will receive elite ranking points. Hopefully that answers any of that. Let me just check the comments. Yes, Carrie, you will hit Success Club this month. Just say that you will, and you will. Yes, Haley, elite ranking points is completely different and separate than Success Club points. If you are not familiar with the Road to Elite ladder, like how to hit team builder, team leader, premier, elite, make sure you talk with your coach. There's an entire FAQ that explains it in detail as well. But basically it's hitting a few benchmarks to get team builder and team leader, premier, etc. All right, let's move on to some fun Instagram things. So I love Brock and Shalene Johnson. Like, they are just, I don't know how they know all of this information, but they do. And they recently did a podcast. Maybe you already know all of this, but I know I learned a few things that are some new changes to Instagram that are current. Now, I will say you might not have all of these changes. And I know Brock says this all of the time, that there are 1 billion Instagram users, and all of us have like a different phone. Like, I have an iPhone 12, you might have an iPhone 8, you might have an Android, you might have a Samsung, you might have a Google phone. And they can't just like, it's not just one Instagram for all of those platforms. They have to make like an Instagram for every different platform. So like there's a different Instagram for your computer, which we'll talk about in a second. Different Instagram for an iPhone 12. Like, it's more to it than just launching Instagram. And it's a rollout. So not everyone gets all of the changes all at once. So just kind of remember that. So in case you don't have some of these changes, that might be why. So the first change is that they have now given us the option, which I don't know that I've even seen this yet on mine, to look at your feed in chronological order. I think I saw it on my computer, but I don't see the option to look at my feed in chronological order on my phone yet. So again, right away, there's a change where I don't see it yet, but maybe you do. So this is back in the day, chronological order. When Instagram came out, everything was in chronological order, which meant that the newest post, whoever you were following, and they posted 5 seconds ago, you would see that post at the top of your feed. So that means, I guess it's reverse chronological order, so that the newest post is first. Most of us look at our feed and it's all according to an algorithm that Instagram creates, right? So apparently, if you want to look at it in chronological order, apparently you're going to be able to. Second one is there's no more IGTV. Did not know this. Not that I do a ton of IGTVs or save things as IGTV, but everything is just a video now. So you can still do a live and you can still upload a video. It's just, you can upload a video and it's not going to be called an IGTV anymore. It's just going to be a video. So apparently you can upload longer. Remember, you could only upload videos like that were like 1 minute long. So now you can upload longer videos, which I guess is kind of cool. But I guess IGTV was not holding up. You can now work completely from your desktop. So before, you could look at your feed on your desktop, you could kind of answer messages on your desktop, and then you would have to get a separate app to answer like your inbox messages. Now you can post from your desktop, which I think I like to, as much as possible, not work from my phone. It's very convenient, but it's also very distracting for me. And so if I can, I like to primarily work from my desktop. And so I am excited about that change. Number 4 is that you can reply to comments. So a comment on your post, you can reply back with a reel. This is super helpful for like, if you get the same comment over and over and over from people, then you can comment back with a reel, and this reel will then be there, and it's an answer to a question. So it'll have like the comment. You've probably seen people have a reel with like a question box, or like the comment is on their reel and then they're talking about it. You can do it on your stories. Like if you get a question box and you say, ask me anything, and then you can kind of comment back. You can now basically do that with comments, which is kind of cool. Number 5 is that you can set a reminder for posts, which apparently, like when you're going live, I don't go live really ever, if I'm being honest. I probably should make that as one of my goals this year, to stretch myself, because I podcast weekly. I think I can talk to people, right? And do similar things on lives. But anyhow, apparently you can like remind people that you're having a post come up. I did not dig deeper into this, you guys, so I honestly don't know exactly what this is. But apparently you can like remind your people that are your followers, I should say, that you have a specific post coming up. Number 6 is, maybe you've seen this, I know I have, is that I've seen suggested posts in my feed. So posts of people that I do not follow. Again, this is going to be based on an algorithm, likely of, posts of similar people who are similar to the people who you follow and interact with, et cetera, et cetera. So you're going to see suggested posts in your feed. And then I know I've been like, oh, I like this. And who is this person? And I want to start following them, right? So I think it's a good change. Number 7 is you can, if you didn't already know, this one isn't very new, but you have a link button now. So remember, you could all remember when you had the swipe up and you had to have 10,000 followers. They took away the swipe up and they gave us all the option to add a link to our stories. So we all have that option. So we've all had that for, well, again, I shouldn't say all, because maybe that's a button you don't have yet. But in case you don't know what I'm talking about, I will just quickly show you. So when you go to your buttons, I don't know if you can even see this because I can't see myself right now. There you go. And you'll have a button that says link, and you can paste a link in there. So like now when I'm talking about the open house every week, not only I put a link here, I also invite people personally, but I put the link here. And the new thing is that you can customize the sticker text. So you can say, click here to join, or you can say, like for my podcast, full episode linked here, so that it's not just like this weird link. You can direct them and type in whatever you want it to say, which I think is super helpful. Number 8 is these prompt stickers. You've definitely seen these in stories, maybe in other people's stories. Like I did one yesterday, I think, which was like, share a picture from your engagement or something. And so I saw someone else who had done this, and she had that prompt sticker. I clicked on the prompt sticker, which then allowed me to share one of my engagement photos. So those are called prompt stickers. You've probably seen them. If you see one on someone else's story, you just click on it, and then you can upload your own photo to go with it. I don't know where to actually just find random prompt stickers. Does anybody? Is that, oh, add yours. Okay, I just found it as I'm talking to you. So again, it's under stickers. And it's this sticker that says add yours. And you can make up your own prompt. I did not know that until literally this second. So learn something new all the time. So I can write my own prompt, like share your favorite mountain. This is a picture of me skiing today. Something. All right, number 9. If you do a lot of carousels, and carousels are huge right now, especially like text carousels, I guess you could say. where it's like multiple slides that get people to interact with your post. You can now delete individual slides in your carousels. Maybe you made a mistake. Maybe you just want to delete one of the images in your carousel. You can now delete just one, which before you would have to delete the whole thing, re-upload the whole thing. Now you have the ability, after it's posted, to delete just one of the images if you needed to. Number 10 is you can add background to captions. So again, another one of the buttons that you have access to, or hopefully have access to, is now captions. Oh, it's not showing up on that one because I wasn't talking. So I'd need to find somewhere where I was talking. But you'd have captions, and you can now, just like with text, like if you type something, you can click on the little button that puts the background color behind your text. You can put background behind your captions now. I actually did that today in my stories, if you want to go look at my stories and see what I'm talking about. But instead of it just kind of being the white text on the screen, it's black text with a white background on top of my video. It's a little easier to read, a little easier to see, eye-catching, etc. So you can change the color and all of that. Number 11 is you can filter notifications. And this is not something that I have personally noticed yet. But yeah, you can. You can go up to the top of your notifications and hit filter. So then you can see like just your tags and mentions. You can see just your comments, just your follows, etc. Which is kind of helpful, right? Because you just get like all these crazy notifications all the time. And I'm like, what? I can't even pay attention to all of them. So it'd be nice to just be able to see all the new follows or all the new comments, etc. Number 12, we're almost through with these. I know this is a lot, but I geek out about this stuff. So you guys are geeking out with me, okay? You can, Reels now has the ability of text to speech. So if you create a reel and you have text on the screen, you can then click text to speech, and it will have like the Siri voice speak your text, which I think is fun. I love those kinds of reels, not all the time, but sometimes, where it sounds like Siri or Alexa. Oh, Alexa might probably just heard me talking on the screen. I see some comments. I just want to see. Oh, good. The notifications. Okay, Lindsay asked the notifications. Did you see when I shared? So your, like, you know, the little heart where it shows you like your comments and tags and all of that. At the top, it should say filter. Top right. And then you can filter it. All right, number 13. And this one, again, sorry, I did not like look into this further, but apparently there's somewhere in your Instagram where it'll tell you to take a break, or you can take a break and it won't send you any notifications. It's like for mental health, which I think is so amazing. I already don't have any notifications pushed to my phone. The only notifications that push to my phone are phone calls and text messages. Nothing else. Like I definitely I go to my notifications when I schedule it, which is not true. Like I go to them way more than I should. So I think this take a break and putting a timer on it, Lindsay said, would be very helpful for me. And maybe you do. It's this thing, I tell you, it's very distracting, which I'm very excited to just be able to work from my computer. You may have already seen this, but you will or may soon see full screen reels in your feed. So like as you're scrolling, so like this is a reel but this isn't a full screen reel. This is I have to click on it to see the full screen. Apparently, I don't know, maybe I probably won't come up on one right now, but while you're scrolling, it will just be like a full screen reel as you're scrolling, which I don't know if that's a good thing or bad thing for me. Probably bad, because reels suck you in. Number 15 is that there are transitions for reels, either already there or coming. I haven't noticed it in mine yet, but I think that would be super helpful. Just like I always want just like a blur from one image to the next image. Do you know what I mean? If you geek out over like creating videos and photo videos and things like that, then you know what I'm talking about. If not, then you're like, what? Or like the photo like swipes from one to the next. Like those types of little transitions. Like you could put in a PowerPoint presentation back in the day. Maybe you could relate to that. I think the transitions will be super helpful. Not the like obviously you can make fun transitions yourself, like turning your head or putting your hand in front of the camera. But these are like transitions from like one video to the next, like if you have multiple clips, or one image to the next if you had multiple clips within your reel. And number 16 is about reordering your reels clips, which I think is so helpful, because I hated like, I'd be like, wait, no, I want that picture first, or no, I want that. So you now can reorder the clips as you are editing your reel. And then these are just 7 things that he says we might see, maybe. They're testing it out. So you might see it, it might stick, it might not at all, but 60-second continuous story. So right now you can do a 60-second continuous story, but it breaks it up into 4 15-second stories. This is going to be just a 60-second story. Apparently they're testing out scrollable stories. So like reels are scrollable. Like we all know, I think the term scrollable now, where you scroll up and down. We all know that our stories currently, we kind of watch them right to left, like we read a book. And so they're maybe testing scrollable stories. We'll see. I don't know how exactly that would work. You know, when you're so used to something being one way, for it to switch, it's like, what? I don't know. You can hit story likes, which I already have story likes. Like I have the little heart at the bottom of the story that I'm watching. And so those are story likes. You're possibly going to have a more controllable feed. Like I said, with the chronological order, I guess they're testing out, like you could make a list of like your favorite. I think you already have like a favorites thing that you could do, but apparently you can also do, you'll be able to like make a list like you can in Facebook, right? You can make lists and then go to that list, and those are the only posts that you see. Apparently they're testing that out with Instagram. They're thinking about bringing some sound effects to reels, which maybe could be fun. I don't know. Live moderation. I don't know that I would ever really need this, but like some like larger accounts who do lives and get a lot of questions or a lot of haters, you could have somebody like on your live with you that's like moderating all of that for you. And then they're possibly bringing the option to add multiple links to your bio, which isn't going to make Linktree very happy. Or what's the new one that I can't think of the name of it. I just taught my team this last week. It's an app. I forget what it's called. It's like a fruit. What's it called? Who knows? Oh, Milkshake. Milkshake. Thanks, Haley. Milkshake. Like, it's not going to make any of those companies happy if Instagram just allows you to put multiple links in your bio, but we'll see how that goes. I know. Fruit, not a fruit, but food. Milkshake. I hope these are helpful. I just love, I'll go back really quick if you wanted to take a picture of just maybe this slide. in case you missed any of those or want to go learn more about any of those, research some of those. I know some of them that I want to look at. It's like the take a break, and that reminder for posts. I know I need reminders myself to post. That's just my own time management deal that I got to go on over here. But I'm excited for a lot of these new changes. And guys, Instagram's literally changing every single day. One of the best ways to stay up to date with it is to follow Brock Johnson on Instagram. I'm just going to give him lots of plugs. I wish he was going to like give me some compensation for that, but it's fine. And I know is anybody a part of Insta Club Hub? I personally am not. I believe Andrea Stevens is, if she's on. And that's where they really share like in real time all of the new things. So Insta Club Hub. Yeah, Insta Club Hub is supposed to be super helpful. I have not invested in that yet. But apparently it's great info. If you are a geek like me and you just love learning all of these new things, you might want to join that. But we're actually going to bring Lindsay on to share a tip where normally I'm the one that brings all the tech stuff. And yesterday she posted in our team thread and our team page this awesome tip that I was like, what? You heard 20,000 new followers. Who even knew you could have followers on Facebook? Not me. So let's have her share. Are you going to want to share your screen or anything? Or are you going to share those videos later, maybe?
I'll share the videos later. I'm going to put them right on the team page somehow. Like, are you going to share this recording in there?
The recording's going to go in the Google Drive. So maybe you can put them in there.
Okay.
We'll talk about it.
Okay. Hi everybody. I am Lindsay Gray. For those of you that don't know me, I am Amanda and I have ran our business together. Basically, I was 8.5 years. She's at 8 years, and we've just done everything together since. So, I love when I can teach her something new because I am the sapphire, ruby, whatever. Christina and I, we just can't decide which one. Once upon a time I was a ruby. Clearly I'm a sapphire. We don't know what's going on, but like I'm just like oh, this sounds fun, let me just do it. And Amanda's like, and she's like, well, this is how you do it, this is how it makes sense, this is how it works. And I'm just like the fly by the seat of my pants, let's just do it type of person. So I was excited to be able to share this with the team. I want to give a shout out to Allison Thornton because she gave me something back at our diamond retreat that actually helped me to go in this space and learn this. And so basically I built my whole business on Facebook. Like I built my entire business on Facebook. It brought me home. It was my success. And when everyone started really transitioning into Instagram and working with that Kelsey girl a few years ago, I did that, but I found success in Instagram, but I never found success in Instagram the way I did in Facebook. And it's because there are different markets. Like there's TikTok, that's a completely different market. There's Facebook, that's a completely different market. And there's Instagram, and that's a completely different market. So I want you to ask yourself right now, what market are you? Take yourself out of the social selling aspect. Where would you hang out? Because that's probably where your voice is going to be heard more. I love Instagram. I don't actually hang out on Facebook at all anymore because I'm trying to pour so much into Instagram because that's where it's at. But what I found was the success that I had on Facebook. I have like 2.1 million and 3.1 million views on reels there. And I literally grew my Instagram from my Facebook following from 16,000 to 36,000 in the last few days. And it's all doing what I've done this whole time on Instagram. I'm just moving it to Facebook because Facebook came out with reels. So if you're not doing reels on Facebook, this is where you're missing the whole thing, because people it is not a business page, it's my personal page. So what I don't use a business page, I use my personal. I made it public everybody can see everything. I will tell you, have some thick skin, because the bigger you get, I have like over 2,000 comments on one of my reels about like women being too much. And I had to block and hide about 30 very negative, hurtful comments that men wanted to throw my way because they were assuming that it was a reel about men saying this to women, even though it wasn't. They're obviously just those toxic people. You need to have some thick skin, because wherever you get a lot of traction, you're also going to get some haters. So I was really shocked by this, because I do have to say I don't often experience that. But that's just what it is. So basically the same content and the same reels. So I follow Brock Johnson, and he said to do a reel a day for 30 days. And I'm like, oh, but I want them to be perfect, right? I want them to be funny. I really get in my head of like, what should the content be? And one day he said, I don't even want you to think about that. Who cares what it is? Who cares if it's a flop? The point is not to have 30 successful reels. It's to get you in the habit of getting comfortable and better, and then the content will naturally come. And I was like, okay, cool. I can commit to that. So every day, only for like a week and a half or a week, I've been finding the reels on Instagram that I feel I relate to. So how I did this first was I wrote down like, what value do I have to add to people? Because it's not just a dance. Like, people on TikTok don't like me. I don't have a big following on TikTok because I'm not taking my clothes off and I'm not shaking my booty. Maybe I am, but not in the way that like TikTok grows. Like, they have a different audience. They're grown more. It's in a different way. So I post the same stuff on TikTok and it flops, completely flops. But on Instagram, it gets like that middle of it's okay. And on Facebook, it's just completely blown up. So first of all, they added reels, and then they added followers on Facebook. So you used to only be able to get 5,000 friends on Facebook. So you add 5,000 friends, and now people want to be friends with you, and you have to delete people to add new people. And now they've added followers. So if your page is public, they can follow you and see everything. If it's not public, they can follow you, but they can see your reels, because reels are public. And so that's kind of one thing to know. If you do reels and your page is private, the reels will be public. So that's what they'll follow you for. So I started just kind of brainstorming, like, what has this year brought me that I feel like I have a voice in? And one for sure is confidence. One is being yourself authentically. One is self-love. Things about like using your voice. Like, what have I overcome this year that I'm not trying to make a post, this huge copy of teaching someone anything. I'm not trying to give people an IGTV or a live where I am training. A reel's purpose is to hit them with a few words or things that trigger them to feel connected to you, because they can relate to what you're saying. So there's some really good people that like take the dance moves that people do the dances to, and instead of the dances, they like point and they give you little tips, right? So for me, I'm like, okay, I'm going to follow trending sounds on Instagram Reels, and I'm going to make a list of the things that make me, the things like wine. Like, I don't want to have a dry January. Okay. So no one ask me anymore. No, I'm kidding. But like, that's something for me. Like, I want to do that. Now, let me tell you though, too, like when you make these types of posts, I will tell you there's people that come offended because they're like, unless you're an alcoholic, or I made a reel about how can you be living your best life if you're not eating bread. And then I had a bunch of people offended because, well, I can't eat bread. I have an intolerance. Good thing you don't. There's people that get, so like, if you want to play with your wording a little bit in your post part of it, keep it short, but to make sure that people know this is just fun and games, you can do that. But basically, kind of, what are you teaching people? So I'm teaching people things about their spiritual growth. I'm teaching people things about health and fitness, about, just little things like that. So I created a list of all the things that I could do. Then I went on Instagram one day and I took 10 minutes and I went to the reels. And when I found a sound that I heard that I think I could use this for in the future, then I saved it. Sometimes if it's a reel that you're like, I like the way they did this and I want to remember how they did this, then Allison Thornton taught us at the Diamond Retreat to actually copy the link. You hit the 3 little dots, copy link, and put it in the note section of your phone, because then you can click on it and see exactly how they used the reel. Whereas if you're just going to use the sound and you don't need to see it, when you save the audio on Instagram, when you go to the audio, you don't see what the person did before. So that's something I'll either save the audio or I'll save it to a note section that says reels, so that if I really like the way that they did something. So for those of you that don't do a lot of reels, how you would find your saved is you go to your little circle on the bottom right, the 3 lines at the top, you go to saved, and you'll have audio, and all of the audios that you save come up here, but they don't show you the video. So that's where I would have, if I want to know exactly what it was and I liked how they did it, it's in a note section. So I just went and saved a bunch of audios one day, because I don't want to, if I'm committing to 30 days of this to grow, then I can't just try to find one the day of. I need to be prepared. So I have a whole bunch of them that are there. And then depending on how I'm feeling in the morning, maybe it's what I read in my personal development, maybe it's how I'm just feeling. Maybe it's something I'm experiencing right now. Maybe I'm going through some really hard thing, and what's helping me is A, B, and C, whatever it is. Then I just commit to finding a sound that makes sense to me that day, putting some content on there, putting some words on the reels get more traction. If it's just the reel by itself, the words on the reel, even though you think it takes away from its prettiness, people swipe by quicker if it's just sound. So they, just like on your story with a caption, people will just go right by and not hear what you have to say. But if you have a caption, if they can't hear because they're at work being naughty, they're not supposed to listen and they are, then they can read it. Right? Same thing on reels. So I've been putting things like words on my reels, which is getting more traction too. So I'll do the reel, I'll put some words on it just to get people's attention, and then a little tiny copy with it. And then I post it. So here is the big trick. And this was taught by Allison Thornton. So she said that you can use, if you save an Instagram reel, often it will save without the sound because they don't want you to reuse it anywhere else. But Allison shared a link with us, and I'll share it with you, that you can actually copy the link of your reel. So you'd go to your reel that you want to do. And I have a whole little video screen record on this that I'm going to share. So don't worry about seeing my screen or anything. But if I wanted to save this, I'd go to the 3, hit copy link. Okay. So now I can go to this link that she gave, which I will type in the comments and share. You actually go to this link here. You put the copied link in this little box. It's a little confusing because first you hit the rainbow colored download, another screen pops up, you hit the green download, then it pops up with a little box and you hit download again, then it downloads to your phone, and then you save the video to your phone. So it's a little crazy, but what it does is it takes the logo off of there. And I have the instructions. So I'm going to give you this in the Google Drive or however Amanda and I decide that we can get it to the team easiest, and Christina. But it takes the logo off there, which helps it to be seen more too. So it takes the logo off, and it also gives you that reel with the sound. So then I take that video and I go to Facebook and I go to Reels and I post it. I don't use hashtags or anything. And I post it there with the same copy that I did on Instagram. Reels on Facebook right now, tons of people are watching them because they're new. They haven't seen that. And it's a different audience. So people are really into them on Facebook because they don't see that type of content on Facebook. A Facebook person is typically a Facebook person. An Instagram person is typically an Instagram person. We're an everything person because this is our job, right? But for the most part, if someone's on Facebook, that's where they are. They don't understand and get Instagram and vice versa. So right now, Reels on Facebook, you don't use a hashtag, you just upload them, make sure they're public, and people are going nuts over them. So I started doing this a week and a half ago, and I think I might have had 9,000 followers a week and a half ago. And like I said, the other day I was telling Rob about it, actually telling him he should try to do Reels so that, because he can grow his business or whatever. And I was like, yeah, I'm at, like, right now, right before we got on the call, I was at 36.4 and now I'm at 37.4. So 1,000 followers in an hour. And this is not, I'm not even doing anything, but a lot of people comment on Facebook. They're very interactive, and then you can like and comment back, but have some thick skin. I then take that same video and I go to TikTok and I upload it in TikTok, and I do use a few hashtags, but I use the same copy because TikTok will show it because it doesn't have the Instagram logo on it, right? So it is just really, really like Facebook. Everyone's like, oh, Facebook is dead. It's not dead. It's very much alive. And it's actually where I think I need to kind of focus a little bit more. So when you, Christina, when you go to your profile, then it says like right here, 37,000 followers, 4.9 thousand. But if you click on that, it'll tell you the exact amount of followers. So like I said, some of my reels, I mean, they're like in the millions, and there are some crazy comments. The thing that I'm noticing is people on Facebook love the inspiration, the positivity, where Instagram, they love the creativity. TikTok, they love like relationship stuff, basically. And like that type of stuff. On Facebook, people are loving the inspiring, the humor, and kind of like positivity. So I would say go with that and just commit. If I could give you any sort of thing, I would say commit to 30 days, do what I did, and I'll save this and like put them on Facebook, because Facebook reels are huge right now. And don't worry about if it flops, because sometimes it only has like 100 one day. Like yesterday I did one and it wasn't a lot of views at all. And then today it's like in the thousands, so it's just the point of continuing to show up. Is this because Facebook just added reels? How come I only see it on my phone and not my laptop? I don't use my laptop often for work, so it might just be on the phone. I don't know, but Facebook did just add reels like in the last couple months. So just like when Instagram came out with reels, that's how their algorithm, like everyone was like, hurry up, do reels, like we're kind of ahead of the game with Facebook because they just come out with reels. You don't see followers. So Jocelyn, are you on your phone? If you go on your phone and you click on your personal page, then underneath where it says your name, it should say followers and friends. So have you been doing one of your reels from IG to one a day on Facebook? Any reels that I do on Instagram, I just take 10 minutes right after I'm done to do the whole copy transition thing, put it on Facebook, put it on TikTok. I've grown my TikTok 1,000 views in the last few days, or 1,000 followers in the last like week or so. And I've actually grown my Instagram. I'm like more than I have ever. I have a lot of people following me now, but nothing like on Facebook. That's weird that you only have friends, Jocelyn. Maybe you don't have any flat followers. That's weird. Maybe it's something that they're just, well, here's the thing. Just like Amanda said, there's how many, maybe it's just not, I don't know. I'm learning reels. That's hilarious. Maybe just because maybe it's not rolled out to you guys yet. I don't know how that would be. Maybe do an update, make sure you're public. But even though I was not public until recently, to be honest with you, I made Facebook private and I only made certain posts public and my reels public until until a few days ago. And then I decided to make my Facebook public again for personal reasons. So I was still growing when it wasn't public. I don't have followers either. It says that you have to have at least one follower for it to show up. Yeah. So people are going to follow. So do the reels and you'll get followers. Anyone know how to check if you're public? You should be able to go to, when you go to your account, if you click on, it says add to story, edit profile, there's 3 little dots. You go there and then there is it account status? No. Follow settings. Privacy shortcuts. Maybe that's not it. I thought it was under there. Hold on. Oh, there is follower settings. So you could go to your follower settings and you can say if you want it to be public or friends and everything. And I have all that on public. That's a good question. Oh, probably under edit profile. I don't know. I can't figure that one out. I think it's under profile and tagging. Yeah. Okay. Who can post on your profile? Who can tag? Who can review? It's not like very in your face, that's for sure. I just did it the other day, but I will tell you it wasn't like a simple on Instagram public or private. Like I had to do some little toggle things like public, public, public. Profile and tagging settings. Upload one now because I just want to see how it works. It's really easy and it's really fast. Should I upload any of my older IG reels to Facebook or only new ones from here on out? I mean, if you want to grow quickly every day, if you do a new one, put your new one on there and pick one old one and put it on there. Put 2 a day and you already have the content, you know? But where do I see your reels? Because I'm on your wall and I don't see them. So if you go to my reels, if you go here and you go down underneath friends, when you get down to almost to where my post is, it says photos, reels, avatars, life events, music. Did you know? So you click on reels and then it has all of my reels there. This one that's like really ticking people off because I don't know why it has 3.6 million. I'm like, ooh, this is fun. It's under the follow settings. You can set your account public. Got it. Thanks, Chris. It's under the follow settings then. Yeah, but it's just really good. So you guys, I would just say if you want to, like, if you want to just take old reels for a while, but for me, like when I have old reels that I never shared. So actually I'm going to take my own advice and do 2 just to see, then you're going to get a lot of traction. You're going to get a lot of traction on Facebook. And there's so many people that are, make sure the content aligns with you and what you want to share. Because like that bread one, I have 5 people that I'm talking to right now about To Be Mindset, because they're like, how do you eat bread and still lose weight? That's not true. I'm like, hey, let's come in my inbox and talk. I'm an open book and I'm not pitching them anything there. I'm just like, I'm an open book. And then they come and I'm like, have you ever heard of this? Tell me a little bit. And you start in, you know, so it's actually growing. Make sure your content, not everything, you want to attract people through fun and humor and inspiration too, but make sure you're sprinkling in about what about your business, about nutrition and fitness and things. And that's all I have right now is don't be scared to do it. Like create the reels, keep it easy, do the saving, put it over on Facebook and just see what happens. I guarantee it will be awesome because that's really what they're pushing right now. And people on there, it's brand new. So they love it because it's not a video site. Typically I'm putting in the logo remover right now in here. So you guys can copy that, save it in the note section of your phone. And this is where you will go to, there you go, where you will go to remove the IG logo and also be able to save the video with the sound. And
awesome.
Then go. Yes.
I will just say on that link, it is a lot of weird ads and this and that. So make sure you're clicking the right buttons and watch Lindsay's video, just because I don't want anybody to end up with some like weird virus or something, because it's like one of those weird sites that it just looks crazy. So it's literally like this little itty bitty box that doesn't look like that's where you're supposed to put the link, but that's where you're supposed to put the link. And Lindsay has a video that explains it all. So maybe we'll just post that directly to, can we post that directly to United Coach Collaboration? Christina? Okay. Then Lindsay just post it directly in there. And then I'll put the recording to this call in the Google Drive folder.
Perfect.
But because I think everyone wants that like right now, probably, we can just do that now and have that going. But I hope this was super helpful. Sorry when we went a little bit over time, but it seemed like everybody was super into what Lindsay was sharing. So I didn't want to cut her off or cut that off. But yeah, does anyone have any questions about anything before we wrap up? We like to take a boomerang on our team call. Would anybody like to take a boomerang? You can show your screen for a second and take a little boom with us.
I do have a quick question.
Yeah.
So here lately, I was having a lot of issues with my Instagram. And I'm wondering if like what you shared and what Brock's been talking about isn't that it was having such an issue because they were making so many changes.
Yeah.
So I uninstalled it and reinstalled it, long story short. And then when I felt like maybe Lindsay's was like this, and I just saw it yesterday and I could be wrong, but I felt like my reels, you know how you can link your Instagram and your Facebook, so then I don't have to post on both things and it'll just share from IG to Facebook, that maybe my reel did that, or I just hallucinated it because I'm sleep deprived. But did anyone else notice issues with IG and them being more in sync with now reels? I guess sharing.
I haven't noticed, but I know what you're talking about. I've been seeing Lindsay's reels and I thought that they were just being linked from Instagram to Facebook as well, but I don't think they are. I think she's been uploading them, right?
Okay.
She's been uploading them.
I don't link anything because when you automatically share, what I heard before is that it doesn't get as much traction.
Okay, so it buries it.
Yes.
I link my stories
my
though.
stories
And I get good Facebook stories.
My stories
watches.
linked, but I don't link my post. I just take
Okay.
3 seconds and do it, you know, and then I don't link my reels either.
Because that's what I was doing with my reels. And I had noticed, like what you were saying, that my reels actually depends on the reel and it depends on the soundbite, but like my reels on Facebook have a lot more traction. Like my Pamela, Greg's and my, if I put Greg in it, then it just blows up. But like my Greg and I reel of Pamela Pumpkin on Facebook has over 67,000 likes, views. And like Lindsay said, you kind of have to have tough skin, because I've never had anyone attack me on my reels before. And now I am, but I'm like, well, it's ruffling feathers.
I think it's a
whatever.
good thing. Yeah.
Yeah, whatever. If you don't like it, scroll on. Goodbye, get off my page. But then on Facebook or on Instagram, it still has a lot, but not 67. It's like 16,000.
Right.
So it's just interesting. Okay. That was it. I just want to know if anyone else was having issues with IG lately because of all the new things.
I know there's been other people on our team that have mentioned it. I personally haven't noticed anything, but like people just mentioning like Instagram being weird today, and it could be, I mean, they're changing things like every day, which is a good thing. Like they're trying to help us. It's not a bad thing. Yeah. So we just need to remember that and be patient.
This was a lot of good content. Thank you, ladies.
Good. I'm so glad. So glad. All right, let's take a quick little boomerang and then I'll let you guys go. I still need to go eat dinner. Thankfully, I have Ryan making it. So, all right, ready? Just do whatever you'd like. I'm gonna count to 3. 1, 2, 3. Awesome. Yay. Thank you guys. This was wonderful. I appreciate you all. And we will see you in 2 weeks for another team call. Bye.